Hey there! If you're a dog owner here in Sebastian, Florida, you already know how amazing our coastal town is, right? There's just so much to do with your dog. So, this is your guide to finding the perfect dog trainer so you both can enjoy everything Sebastian has to offer, safely and with a lot less stress.
All right, here's what we're going to cover. First up, why training is a big deal here in Sebastian. Then, we'll get into what makes a trainer great. After that, we'll look at the different programs out there, talk about local costs and rules, and finally, we'll wrap up with your next steps. Simple as that.
Okay, first things first. Why does training matter so much right here in Sebastian? Well, it's pretty simple. It's all about being able to get out there and really live that Sebastian lifestyle with your dog. Good training is basically your key to unlocking all the cool things our town offers, from a peaceful stroll to hitting the more lively spots.
I mean, just picture it, right? You're taking a calm walk along the Indian River Lagoon. No pulling, no craziness. Or imagine being near those busy boat ramps and your dog is just focused and safe. It means you can actually relax at places like Riverview Park. And what about going to something like the Sebastian Clam Bake Festival? With a well-behaved dog, that sounds fun, not stressful.
So now that we know why training is so helpful here, how do you actually find a great trainer? What should you be looking for? Well, it really boils down to two things: their training methods and the credentials they have to prove they know their stuff.
You're going to hear this term a lot, and for good reason. Positive reinforcement. It's pretty much the best way to go. All it means is rewarding your dog for the good stuff they do, with treats, praise, whatever they love. It's not about using scary or painful tactics. It's effective, it's kind, and honestly, it helps build an awesome, trusting relationship with your dog.
Okay, so a trainer can talk a good game, but you really want to see some proof that they know what they're doing. This is where certifications are super helpful. They tell you that a trainer has put in the work, that they've been educated, and that they're committed to doing things the right way.
Now, all these letters can look like alphabet soup, I know, but here's a simple way to think about it. If you're working on basic manners, sit, stay, come, you might look for something like a CPD TK. But if you're dealing with bigger behavior stuff, like serious fear or anxiety, then you'd want to see something more specialized, like a CBCCK. All of them show that the trainer is serious about their profession and keeps up with their education.
All right, so you found a trainer you like who has the right philosophy and credentials. Awesome. The next piece of the puzzle is figuring out what kind of program is the best fit for you and your dog. Because not all training formats are the same, and the right one really depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Okay, the two big ones you'll see are group classes and private lessons. Group classes, they're fantastic for socialization, especially for puppies. Your dog learns to listen to you, even with other dogs and people around. Plus, they're usually easier on the wallet. Now, private lessons are totally different. They're all about you and your dog, one-on-one. This is perfect if you're working on something really specific, like, say, your dog barks like crazy every time the mailman comes.
And then there are a few other choices. You've got board and train, which is like a training boot camp where your dog stays with the trainer, super intense. Day training is another cool option where the trainer works with your dog while you're at work. And a behavior consultation is usually the starting point for really tough cases, where a trainer comes in to figure out exactly what's going on and make a plan.
Okay, let's talk about the practical stuff. How much is this going to cost, and what are the local rules you need to know about as a dog owner in Sebastian? Let's get into it.
So here's a look at what you can generally expect to pay for dog training here in Sebastian. As you can see, a standard 6-week group class is going to be in the ballpark of, say, $175 to $325. A one-off private lesson, you're probably looking at about $95 to $160. And then for the really intensive stuff like a multi-week board and train, yeah, the price goes up quite a bit, into the thousands.
All right, let's talk about local rules. And honestly, the best way to think about these isn't as a bunch of annoying restrictions. They're really just guidelines to make sure everyone, dog owner or not, can enjoy our awesome public spaces together. Okay, if you remember one rule, make it this one: 6 feet. That's the maximum leash length allowed in any public area here in Sebastian and all of Indian River County. It's a really simple rule, but it's so important for keeping everyone safe: your dog, other people, and our local wildlife. Just a couple of other key things to keep on your radar. First, your dog has to have their current rabies tag on their collar whenever you're out. That's a must. Also, be aware that non-stop barking can actually be considered a public nuisance. And here's a helpful tip: you don't need a separate dog license here. That rabies tag is all you need.
Okay, we're in the home stretch. Now it's time to put all this information into action.
In this last section, we'll give you the exact questions you should ask a trainer, and then, the fun part, we'll show you some great local spots to practice all those new skills.
So when you're on the phone or meeting with a potential trainer, you want to be prepared. Here are the essential questions to ask. Start with their training philosophy. Ask them flat out what certifications they have. Make sure they can give you a clear plan for what you want to work on. And you'll definitely want to know how they measure success. And of course, what the bottom line is, all the fees and policies.
Because once the training starts clicking, that's when the real fun begins. It's time to get out there and actually use these new skills in the real world.
And we've got some great places to do just that right here in Sebastian. For some safe, legal, off-leash playtime, you've got to check out the Sebastian Bark Park. Want to practice walking nicely on a leash with some normal, everyday distractions? Riverview Park is perfect for that. And if you're ready for a bit more of a challenge, the trails at Sebastian Inlet State Park are awesome for practicing around all sorts of new sights and sounds.
You know, at the end of the day, that's really what this is all for. A well-behaved dog isn't just a pet. They're a true partner you can share everything with in this amazing town. I really wish you the best of luck on your training journey. It's going to make such a huge difference in your daily life, whether you're just hanging out at home, walking around town, or spending time with family and friends.